welcome back. This is Priyanka, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering AIML, MLR Institute of Technology. So today we are going to discuss about introduction to Python and the core concepts. And these are the indices we are going to discuss about. So firstly, we are going to discuss what is Python and what are the different features of Python we have and why Python is called as an interpreter. And along with that, we are going to discuss the basic help function, types of operator used, and summary. So by the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand what Python is, and you'll be accessing official documentation in Python official website and start using the Python interpreter, as well as you will use Python as basic calculator. So here, coming to the introduction, what is Python? Python can be defined as an interpreted programming language which is known for its simple readable syntax. So coming to C, Java and everywhere, we are supposed to write some prolonged syntax, right? So but coming to Python, it is really friendly syntax and it is too simple, and it is very ideal for beginners and rapid development. So here Python also supports some multiple programming paradigms like different types of object oriented concepts. It also supports. It will support scripting kind of languages. It is going to support us with database management systems, and it is we can embed Python programs along with database management systems also. And here mainly the Python is we can call Python as cross platform, as it can be installed and worked on Windows, Macs and Linux as well. So these are the main advantages of Python, and this is the flexibility that Python programming is going to provide us. So here generally we are going to have automatic memory management in this Python, as we are going to link this Python with system variables and we are going to execute the programs. And it is of course the extension of C and C++ coding, and some frameworks are also there in Python for your knowledge. Django and NumPy are the main frameworks which can be worked on Python while executing with machine learning programs. So coming to the features of Python, as I told, Python is a easily readable language and simple syntax. It is going to have a simple syntax, and it is an interpreted language. I'm going to tell you what an interpretation is nothing but. So here, whenever you are trying to execute some code on a Python, it is going to get executed on a PVM, Python virtual machine, and where it is going to support dynamic typing. So first of all, when we try to analyze what Python and Python is, firstly we have to remember it supports dynamic typing, and the second thing, it is interpreter. As Python is an interpreted language, it is going to support dynamic typing. Dynamic typing is nothing but as soon as we are going to enter a command in the command prompt or the Python shell, it is going to execute that line and it is going to check for syntax mistakes and everything. So that's where we call it as dynamic typing. And one more reason is we are not supposed to declare any kind of keywords while declaring a variable or processing some kind of data on the Python environment. So that is also the reason it is too simple language, and it is dynamically typed, as I told. So for example, we can simply write in C programming. If you wanted to declare a variable, the procedure we follow is int space x, and this is what the declaration looks like in C language. But coming to Python, you can directly give the variable assignment like x equals to 10, or if you wanted to declare any string, you can directly write x equals to hello. Without any errors, it is going to compile. So this is why we call it as dynamic type. And coming to next set of features, it also have Python package index PyPI, which is going to hold hundreds and hundreds of third-party packages, where it is going to support data science projects, and it also support machine learning and web development projects. For data science, if you wanted to handle with different types of databases and different types of data sets, we can use Pandas and NumPy. Those are the predefined libraries in Python. And coming to machine learning, we can use TensorFlow and Skitlearn, which are going to support for data training into Python. And coming to web development, I already told you that Python is going to have frameworks Django and Flask, right? So it is platform independent. It is too portable, and on any kind of platform it can be installed and worked with. So it is object oriented and procedure oriented as well, but mainly we'll use object oriented programs as we wanted to work with frameworks and all. Object oriented feature is going to help us a lot. So these are the I already told, it is a high level language and it supports open source. It is a open source software. I'm going to show you with what py.org is going to look like, and it is integrated. It can be easily integrated with C, C++, Java code as well. If you wanted to work on any hybrid kind of projects, you can integrate them. And it also supports GUI support, as it is going to have some separate libraries called Kinter, Pyquet, for desktop or app development. So these are the main features of Python. So coming to why it is called as interpreter, I already told you that it is going to act as a bridge between high level code you write. High level code you write is nothing but what are the syntaxes you are going to write in the code, and it is going to execute line by line. So whatever the code we are trying to enter into the compiler or into the shell, it is going to read line by line, so that it can be called as interpreted. So when you are trying to, for example, if you wanted to execute, write a code and execute, first of all, you have to generate a file like this in the form hello. Hello is my file name, and .py is an extension which is going to indicate that it is a Python file. And after that, it is going to break the code into small tokens. So whatever the code we are going to enter, it is going to get divided into small chunks, right? So for example, I am trying to write x equals to 10. As I told, no variable declaration and no keywords can be used in this. So directly we can write this without any syntax errors, and it is going to execute this line. And after that, I wanted to print the value of x on my output screen, right? So I'll simply write print. Print is a command. We'll discuss that. Print of x. So if I write x here, it is going to print the value of x, and directly it is going to just print on the output. If I run this code using Python interpreter, it is going to print the value of x10 on the output screen. So here what it happens is nothing but when we are trying to enter the code into the Python interpreter, it is going to divide this particular code into small tokens. That's what a token is. So first of all, okay, my variable is x and it is going to have some memory allocation. And after that, upon this x, we are calling this print command, so that I am supposed to print the value which is getting holded in the memory space of x, and it is going to print 10. So this is what Python is going to execute the programs internally. And then internally, if you wanted to go in deep and how to analyze how this particular Python virtual machine is going to execute the programs, it is going to form abstract syntax trees here. That is nothing but it is going to form an analysis or tree there internally, and then it is going to execute the commands line by line, right? So here I already told you that Python virtual machine is a main kind of runtime engine we are going to work with, which reads the bytecode. Bytecode is nothing but 1 byte equals to 8 bits. So whatever the code we are trying to write, whatever the English language we are going to write, this is going to get converted into bytecode. That is nothing but zeros and ones. Okay, at that zeros and ones will be read into the PVM. It is going to translate that machine code, and then it is going to process your actual input, right? So this is how Python interpreter is going to work. And after that, coming to the key characteristics, it is highly interactive. So when we are trying to type the commands on the compiler, then only it is going to give me back some possible syntaxes and all. So it is interactive. It is portable, as it is going to run on Windows, Mac OS, and any operating system is going to work with. And automatic memory management. It has garbage collection, and so it can free up the memory once the variables task is done in my compiler. So this is about Python interpreter. So coming to help command. Before going to this help command, let me show you how to install the Python using this Python org. So simply when you wanted to install python.org, okay, so here what I'm trying to do is nothing but let me check first of all whether Python is existing in my system or not. So for that I'm going to just control or and command prompt. So Windows or, here I'm just going to give cmd command so that it is going to open the command prompt there. So to check whether Python is existing or not, which version of Python is existing in your system, the command is going to you are supposed to give is nothing but pip space hyphen version. So here the message is Python pip is not recognized as external or internal command. So I can conclude that particular Python version or Python supportable software is not existing on my system. So for that what I'm supposed to do is nothing but in Google just visit python.org. So this is the official website which is being used as an open source for downloads. So you are in this you can find all the documentation. So Python docs, in Python docs you will find what are the references, what are the libraries, what are the embeddings we are going to have, what is the history, what is the different types of installation modules we are going to have. You can analyze in this. So if you wanted to work on Python, you are supposed to go to downloads, and if you have Windows OS in your system installed, you go for Windows. If it is Mac OS, go to Mac OS, and if it is Android, you go for Android. So I wanted to install this for Windows. So I'll just go to Windows and click on this Python 3.14.2. So this is the latest version of Python. So here, if you check, exe file will be downloaded here. So just click on it. So here it is going to open one window like this, which is going to ask for permission to installation. So what you are trying to do is nothing but, so here the must thing we are supposed to do is we have to check this particular option, because if you don't check this particular option, I already told you that we are going to work in Python programming in PVM, per Python virtual machine. So here we have to embed our front end of this Python programming with the virtual environment in our system memory usage. So that is the reason we have to connect it and add path to path variables. And I am going to select customize installation here, and I'm going to check whether everything is checked here or not. So everything has to be checked, and click on next. And here also, if you are having multiple users, and here if you wanted to add your Python variables to add your Python to environment variables and everything, so you can have these options here. You're going to check this, and installation is going to check. You just click on yes. So here Python, it will take some time to initialize and install all the packages, and hence after that we can go to command prompt again and check whether it is properly installed or not. So installation process is going on here. So it is going to download all the kind of dependencies, all the kind of libraries, whatever I told you. It is going to just download for you, but it will not download all the frameworks available for it. It will only install the dependency libraries, whatever the basic library, standard libraries we will be using in our basic Python programming. It will be downloading. So coming to this org. So here you can check what are the versions of Python as well. So here if you go for all releases in this, so these are the different types of versions which have been released, and here different types of versions, and we can download the Python launcher as well if you wanted to launch your new Python programs. So you can check whether this particular version is available in your system or not. So the available platforms when we wanted to execute the Python program is VS Code, and we can use PyCharm. You can work on Jupyter Notebook and everything. So here our file is has or setup is successful. So let me close this and go back to command prompt for this Windows plus R CMD. So previously we saw that pip is not recognized, right? So let me check once now, because as I have installed the Python, I'm going to check here minus hyphen version. So here, yes, it is installed. So here you can observe that it has installed successfully, right? So if you wanted to open the Python virtual machine or interpreter, so you just type Python here, so that my interpreter has opened here, right? So I already told you that this particular environment is going to get executed on PVM. So this is a source of PVM, and you can work command. You can work out with commands here. So let me just declare one variable. I'll just do some arithmetic operators here. So let me type 10 plus 20 and press enter. So I have not done any declarations. I have not given it I have not told that this is a variable, this is your memory space and everything. Declarations and formal syntaxes have not followed. In this interpreter, I have just entered 10 plus 20. So it is going to allocate a memory space inside it, and it is going to get me back the output. So this is how Python is going to work like, right? So let me exit out of this. And if you observe, to open the IDLE shell now, so just go to search box and type IDLE here. So this is the IDLE shell actually. So where we can execute basic commands and programs. So coming to the help command. So to check what are the different types of available modules, available symbols, available kind of tags available in this Python environment, we can use a function called help. So this is a help function. So here a prompt is open, like, so if you look at the description, enter the name of module or any module. What are the different types of modules are there? What are the different types of keywords existing or topics existing? You can just type here. So if I just type here in the help prompt, I wanted to see what are the different types of keywords. So it is going to give me a list of different types of keywords. So these are the different types of keywords we can use with Python programming. And if I wanted to see what are the different types of modules, so I'm just going to type modules. So it is going to display a message like, please wait a moment, and these are the different types of modules which are being downloaded along with the standard libraries when installation. So these are the different types of modules, right? If I wanted to just see what are the different types of symbols I can use. Symbols are nothing but operators, plus, minus, ampersand, different types of symbols are there, right? So if I wanted to check that, I'm going to just write symbols. So these are the different types of symbols we are going to have. Okay, so if you to come out of this, just press exit, and it is going to exit the help prompt, right? So this is where we are going to have a different just a brief view of different types of modules existing and IDLE working with IDLE shell and everywhere, right? So let us go back to PPT now. Fine. So as I told you, we can use help function. So it is very interactive, and it is going to give us a utility there, as we saw in the demonstration. Now the command we are going to use give is help. Help is a command, and how to exit, just simply type exit there before help, so that it will come back to shell operation, right? So this is how we can gather all the information regarding the standard libraries. And after that, if you wanted to give a specific kind of thing, if you wanted to know what a print command is, so this is the command you can give in this help of print. In the parenthesis, you are going to give the print. If you wanted to see what this particular math function is going to look like, if you wanted to analyze, so when you are working on different types of data, you wanted to know what that particular package or what that particular function is going to help you with. So you can use help function in this. And if you wanted to know what a list is, what a symbol is, whatever the thing you wanted to know, you can use help command in the IDLE shell, so that it is going to get an idea like what are the different types of methods available in it, what is its task in our interpreter, right? So coming to the operators, as we know that we are going to have some operators in every programming language to form some arithmetic operations. So arithmetic operators are plus, as usual, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. Coming to modulus, it is going to return us with the remainder. And here we are going to have two special operators in Python programming. One is exponential. For example, if you wanted to calculate the value of 2 power 3, so I can't write this directly in my prompt, right? So if I wanted to calculate, I'm going to use exponential operator 2 start ** 3, so that it is going to give the value of 2 cube, right? And the one more thing is floor division. This is one extra operator, arithmetic operator we are going to have. So if you wanted to perform floor division, it is going my input value is 10 and 4, 10 floor division upon 4, it is going to give 2 rounds down to the nearest whole number. So it is going to divide 10 with 4 and it is going to return us 2 rounds, means it is going to give the decimal value along with this particular thing. So let us see how this is going to work with. So let me calculate 10 divided by 2. So of course it has given me some question, and I wanted to work with 10 floor division 2. So here you can see that decimal is excluded here. So this is what floor division is. If you don't want any decimal values to be included in your outputs, you can use this floor division. And as well as if I wanted to calculate some x power y, some 3 power 9, so I'll just 3 exponential 9. So it is going to calculate 3 to the power of 9. My output is 19683. So this is how my arithmetic operators are going to work, and directly using this shell you can work on it, right? So this is all about operators. And comparison operators, as already we know, equal, x double equal to y is nothing but it is going to check whether the value of x is equal to value of y or not, means both are carrying the same value or not. Not equal, both values are not equal or not. X greater than y, comparison. X less than y, comparison. Greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. So these are the comparison or relational operators we are going to have. And coming to the logical operators, if I am considering x less than 5 and x less than 10, I wanted to check whether these are true or not. I am going to use AND. Both statements are true or false, right? And or at least one statement is true, and not, it is going to give false if result is true. And this and coming to the assignment operators, for example, if I write x plus equals to 5, what it is going to do is nothing but x equals to x plus 3. If I'm having the value of x, some value of x, so I'm going to assign x int x plus 3. So the same is going to happen with decrement and multiplication as well. So these are the basic operators, and we'll discuss again in deep in other lecture. So coming to the different types of operators, we have membership operators as well, and operator precedence. So operator precedence is nothing but, for example, if you are going to take some complex equation. So for example, I'm going to have x plus y minus z into k. Okay, so in this, which operator has to be calculated first? So this is where operator precedence is going to work like. So here we are supposed to give it in a parenthesis, and after that we are going to work with exponential, and after that these operators are going to work, and subtraction or addition, equal to, and logical or not. So this is the order where different types of operators are going to work with. Coming to the summary. So in complete PPT, we have looked at what a Python interpreter is, and we have had a discussion on help function, where it is going to retrieve back what are the different types of modules, keywords and everything. And we have just had a glance at types of operators and what an interpreter is going to work like. Thank you.